Sushma ma'am. Sushma. Good morning, dear students and everyone. This is Sushma ma'am, Sushma Jaiswal from Khen Nagar School. Today I'm going to start the topic physiography and drainage, and my subtopic is physiography and drainage system in India and Brazil. So before I start with the actual explanation of the lesson, let's go through a deep understanding of about physiography and drainage. What is exactly physiography and what is exactly drainage? See here in the display you can see definition.
Ma'am, again the screen is gone.
How it is? Is it visible now?
No, ma'am.
Why it is happening? One second. Now is it visible?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So dear students, before we go through the actual lesson, what is about India and Brazil, let's go through the definition. Let's understand what is physiography and what is drainage. Because until you understand these two concepts, you won't be able to understand the whole lesson. To understand the whole lesson, it is necessary to learn the elements, the concepts, and the terms which are given in the textbook. Okay. See, in the textbook, it is not deeply explained to you about physiography and drainage. You might have learned this about in your lower standard. So now today we will go through the concepts. See, a map is displayed over here. A map is displayed over here. Okay. So this map, the map of physical India, is shown in your textbook. If it's possible by you all, please take a notebook, pen, pencil, and textbook with you all, so that when I'll show you the map, it will be very easier for you to understand. Okay. So while explaining this chapter, I'm going to show you different maps, and there are some maps which is given in your textbook also. So in geography, we have two major fields. Okay. Physiography and drainage. So to understand this chapter, we must understand the two major fields of geography. What are the two major fields of geography? The two major fields of geography are physical geography, also called as physiography, and human geography, also called as anthropogeography. Okay, understand these two terms. Physical geography, also called as physiography, and human geography, also called as anthropogeography. So here, let's clear these two concepts. What is physical geography and what is human geography? See, human geography, it examines human societies and how they develop, their culture, economy, and politics, all within the context of their environment. How human activity affects or is influenced by environment. Okay. So what is the relation between human beings and what is the relation between environment? How human activity is affected by or is influenced by the environment. The study of these features comes under what? Human geography. Okay. And understand the word also, anthropogeography. Anthropogeography is the study of human geography. Okay. And the other one is physical geography, also called as physiography. So what is physiography? The study of physical features of the Earth's surface. For example, study Earth's landforms. If you're going to study Earth's landforms, river systems, weathers, climates, distribution of plants and animals, atmosphere, soils, streams, and oceans. Okay, all the studies are called as physiography, physical geography. Okay, so hope you have understood this to both. Now, human geography, if I said how our environment is affected by human activity and how human are affected by the environment. For example, many of the people, many human beings are engaged in export and trading business. So how this trade and export affects the environment? Okay, this trade and export system affects the coastal areas, right? Like this only there is a relation between the environment and the human activity. Okay, how culture, economy, and politics, all these are affected. These are we are going to study in human geography. See, you can see the fields in human geography, the branches in human geography. For example, if in future, if you're going to build a career in human geography, so these are the different branches in which you can build your career. The one is urban geography, the second is economic geography, the third is cultural geography, political geography, social geography, population geography. Now here you might be confused how all these geographies are related with environment. Okay, now what is political geography? For example, political geography means, for example, there is a conflict between Tamil Nadu and Karnataka regarding water dispute. Okay, there is a conflict between Tamil Nadu and Karnataka regarding water dispute, and you might have known about the dispute between Karnataka and Maharashtra regarding the water dispute. Okay, there was a conflict regarding Belgaum district. So when two governments are engaged in such a conflict, then those geography is called as political geography. When two politicians, when two government are engaged, or or there is a conflict between the two governments regarding area, regarding water, regarding geography, then that conflict is called as political geography. Okay, now I think you might have understood the terms. Now next is, okay, and before also there was a conflict between Maharashtra and Karnataka regarding water dispute. So when two governments fight for the area, for political boundary, that comes under political geography. So these are the different fields in which you can build your career. Okay, so these are the different terms and different fields. Now let's go through the physical geography. Physical geography, or you can say physiography. Now you can see the different fields and branches in physical geography also. For example, geomorphology, hydrology, glaciology, climatology, meteorology, coastal geography, oceanography, landscape ecology, and environmental geography. Okay, so all this comes under in the fields of physical geography. And the features like study of Earth's landforms, river systems, weathers, climates, distribution of plants and animals, atmosphere, soils, streams, and oceans. All these studies are called as the study of physical geography. Okay. Now you have seen that there are various areas in physical geography in which you can take your career, you can build your career. Okay. So there are many branches in physical geography. And if you want to make a career, you can choose any of these two fields in geography. Okay, there are many opportunities. Now, hydrology. Hydrology means what? When you study the water cycle. Okay, when you go through the study of water cycle, how water forms, how rain comes. Okay, so all this study comes under hydrology. Glaciology, how glaciers are formed in mountains, how glaciers are formed in Antarctica. Okay. Himalayas में कैसे, how all these glaciers are formed. The formation of glaciers are called as the study of glaciology. Then the study of climate, how climate changes, how weather changes. Okay, the study of this comes under climatology. Okay, hope you have understood what is physiography and what is human geography. Now let's go ahead. Geomorphology. Now what is geomorphology? Geomorphology is the study of the nature and history of landforms and the process. Means how lands are formed. The physical, biological and chemical process. All this process which create them are called as the study of geomorphology. Now there is one more part in physiography that is called as what? Drainage. Okay, so in which concept drainage comes? Under which concept drainage comes? So drainage comes under geomorphology. Drainage comes under what? Geomorphology. Okay, so it is necessary to understand what is geomorphology. Let's see here. Geomorphology, as you have seen here, it is one of the branches of physiography. Geomorphology is the study of the nature and history of landforms and the process. The history of landforms and the process. The process includes physical, biological and chemical process which create them. Now you can see here different landforms. The land formed by volcano, hills, island, crayon, desert, ocean, river, jungle, mountains, marshes, waterfall, plain, etc., etc. Okay, all these are the process of the formation of lands. Okay, so these are the different landforms which is shown in the diagram. Now let's see what is drainage system. Drainage system means what? The flow of river. How rivers are flowing, how waters are flowing, in which pattern it is flowing and from where it is flowing. Okay, that is called as what? Drainage system. Also known as river systems are the patterns formed by the streams, rivers and lakes in a particular drainage basin. Okay, also called as drainage system is also called as river systems. For example, you can see here the map how Ganga river system is formed and how it flows. See, if you can see the flow of Ganga river system, it is not flowing in a simple pattern. It is flowing in a different patterns. Okay, you can see my cursor how it is shown, how the river is flowing. So this is one river system from where the water comes. Okay, so this is the pattern of Ganga river system. So what is drainage basin? Drainage basin means the area drained by a single river system is called a drainage basin. Drainage basin means the area drained by a single river system is called a drainage basin. For example, how Bay of Bengal is filled. Okay, how the water of Bay of Bengal is filled. So the water of Bay of Bengal is filled through one river system that is called as Ganga river system. How Ganga river system flows and drain itself to fill the ocean, to fill the water of Bay of Bengal. So here you can see in the diagram which is given here. Okay. This is the drainage of Ganga and this is the drainage of. So basically keep in mind drainage system means what? Drainage means also known as river systems are the patterns formed by the streams, rivers and lakes. The patterns we are going to study in drainage system. Now you might be confused that a water flows in a simple way. It is not like that. Water doesn't fall in a simple way. There are different ways in which the water drains it. The river drains it water in four different ways. Now you can see here the types of drainage. The first one is dendritic drainage. Now you can see here the diagram how water falls in a dendritic drainage. The water comes in this way. The next one is rectangular drainage. Rectangular drainage here, the water comes in a rectangular shape. Okay. You can see the patterns. Then the next one is radial drainage. Radial drainage water comes from mountains. Okay. So the water comes in this way. This is the radial drainage system. The water comes in this way. The water flows in this way in all the different directions. Now the next one is trellis drainage. Trellis, in here you can see. Now here you can see here how the water is flowing. Okay. So the way the river flows, that patterns are called as a study of that patterns are called as the drainage system. Now you might be confused that why water flows in a different direction and different way. There is a simple explanation. There are different features of landforms. For example, there is mountain, there is plain land, there is plateau. Okay, there is volcanoes, there is hill. Okay, so just because of all these features, the flow of water is different. If you will see, if you will pour water from a highest altitude, the flow will be different. If you will pour water in the straight plain area, the flow of water will be different. That is why this drainage pattern is given to you to understand the river system. Okay. So what is topography? You all have already learned about topography. They are governed by the topography of the land, whether a particular region is dominated by hard or soft rocks and the gradient of the land. So topography basically refers to mountains, valleys, plains, rivers, or craters on the surface. Just because of the different topographies, the flow of water is different. The patterns are different. So drainage basin is what? Drainage basin means the area drained by a single river system is called a drainage basin. Hope you have understood the physiography and drainage system in India. Hope these two concepts you have understood. So if you want, you can take a screenshot also. The definition of physiography, the definition of drainage system. Just take a screenshot. So here in this chapter, we are going to study the Ganga river system. Okay, the Ganga river system fills Bay of Bengal, and the other one is Brahmaputra river system. Two river systems are there, Brahmaputra river system and Ganga river system. Okay. This drainage pattern is not given in your textbook. Just to make your concept very clear, I have explained you this. See, you can see here. You can see small tributaries over here. Okay, so these are dendritic patterns. This flow is called as dendritic pattern. So this whole is called as what? Ganga river system. All this meets in what? In Bay of Bengal. Okay. When When small river meets the bigger river, then that is called as tributaries of the bigger river. When these two are divided, that is called as what? Distributaries. When these two rivers get divided, these are called as what? Distributaries. So in Ganga river system, you can see there are many tributaries, and the tributaries also you can see here, it gets divided into two parts. Okay. So all these tributaries and the river meets in Bay of Bengal. And this whole is called as what? Ganga river basin or Ganga river system. So all these studies comes under what? Drainage system. So hope you have understood what is physiography and drainage. So the study of drainage comes under what? The study of drainage comes under what? Geomorphology. So in this chapter, we are going to study about the study of Earth's surface, the study of Earth landforms, river systems, weather climates of India and Brazil. So now you can pause the video and you can take a screenshot also. Let's go ahead. Go through your maps. Go through the maps in your textbook. The map of physical India. And some questions are given below that. So before we solve this question, I'm going to share a PPT with you all. Just go through that PPT. I'm sharing a PPT with you all. Let's go through the physiography of India. The physical features of India consist of the Himalayas. You can see Himalayas over here. You can see Himalayas over here. Then below Himalaya is the North Indian plains. Physically, India is divided into 6 parts. The Himalayas, the North Indian plains, the peninsula, the coastal plains, the island groups. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the plateaus. Okay. So India is physically divided into 6. That is the Himalayas, the North Indian plains, the peninsula, the coastal plains, island groups, and the plateaus. So let's go through these 6 physical features of India and then we will solve the map. Now what is Himalayas? Himalayas, as you all know, is one of the young and fold mountain of the world. The Himalayas extend from Pamir, north in Tajikistan to the east. It is a major mountain system of the Asian continent. Means it covers almost the other part of the countries, including India. In India, it extends from Jammu and Kashmir to Arunachal Pradesh. Remember this point, students. In India, it extends from Jammu and Kashmir to Arunachal Pradesh. See here, you can see in the map. See this map. It extends from Jammu and Kashmir to Arunachal Pradesh. Okay. So remember this. The Himalayas is not a single mountain range. There are many parallel ranges in the system. Means it consists of many smaller hills. It includes many smaller hills. The Himalayas is not a single mountain range. There are many parallel ranges in the system. The southernmost is known as Shivalik. It is also the youngest range. Next to Shivalik, here you can see in this map, this one, how Himalaya is divided into different ranges. Okay, the southernmost is known as Shivalik. Here you can see Shivalik Hills. It is also the youngest range. Next to Shivalik are Lesser Himalayas. Next to means adjoining to it is the Lesser Himalayas. To its right side, then Greater Himalayas, also called as Himadri. The upper side, this is Greater Himalaya, also called as Himadri. And Trans-Himalayan ranges from south to north. This is Trans-Himalayan ranges. These ranges are young to old respectively. Now these mountain ranges are also divided into Western Himalayas. Now you can see in the third map. These mountain ranges are also divided into Western Himalayas, also called as Kashmir Himalayas. Western, this is the Kashmir Himalayas. Then Central Himalayas, this is also called as Kumaon Himalayas, and Eastern Himalayas, also called as Assam Himalayas. Okay. So in these three maps, it is very clear to you all how Himalaya is divided into different parts and from where it extends up to where. So Himalayas in India extends from Kashmir to Arunachal Pradesh. Now next, North Indian Plains. This division lies between Himalaya mountains in the north and the peninsula in the south. Here you can see in the greenish part. Here you can see in the greenish part, this one. These are the North Indian Plains. Okay, which lies between Himalaya mountains in the north and the peninsula in the south. Similarly, it extends from Rajasthan and Punjab in the west to Assam in the east. See, this North Indian Plains, extends from Rajasthan and Punjab. You can see here, this part comes in Rajasthan and the upper part comes in Punjab in the west. This is the western part. This is the southern part. This is eastern part, and that is the northern part. So it extends from Rajasthan and Punjab in the west to Assam. Here is Assam in the east. It is mostly a flat, low-lying area. The North Indian Plains are divided into two parts. Again, Eastern Plains and Western Plains. This is the Eastern Plains and this is the Western Plains. The part lying to the east of the Aravallis is the basin of the river Ganga and is therefore known as the Ganga Plains. See, this is the eastern part and this is the basin of the river Ganga, and therefore it is called as the Ganga Plains. This is called as the Ganga Plains. It slopes eastwards. Most of the West Bengal state of India and Bangladesh together constitute the delta of Ganga Brahmaputra system. So this part, this plain gets water from Brahmaputra river. This part, I'm talking about this part, and this one gets water from Ganga river. The western part of the North Indian Plains is occupied by desert. It is also known as the Thar Desert or Marusthali. Most of the Rajasthan is occupied by this desert. This part I'm talking about. This one. This western part. Most of the Rajasthan is occupied by this desert. To the north of the desert lies the plains of Punjab. See, this part is the northern part. This region is spread to the west of Aravallis and Delhi ranges. These plains have formed as a result of depositional work of river Sutlej. All this we will see in the map while solving the questions given in your textbook. These plains have formed as a result of depositional work of river Sutlej and its tributaries. The slopes of the plains is towards the west. Because the soil here is very fertile, agriculture is largely practiced in this region. So there is a good amount of water available, the fertility of the soil is good there, and the agriculture is also largely practiced in that region. See, this is the image of Sundarban Delta. Sundarbans is a mangrove area in the delta formed by the confluence of the Ganges, Brahmaputra, and Meghna rivers in Bay of Bengal. It spans from the Hooghly River in India's state of West of Bengal to the Baleshwar River in Bangladesh. So this is the image of Sundarban Delta. This is the image of Sundarban Delta. Now next is the peninsula. The area lying to the south of North Indian Plains. To the south of North Indian Plains means, see, this is North Indian Plains. This is North Indian Plains, and to its south is here. Okay, so this is what Indian Peninsula. The area lying to the south of North Indian Plains and tapering towards the Indian Ocean is called Indian Peninsula. Tapering towards Indian Ocean means this is the Indian Ocean. Okay, this is called as tapering towards Indian Ocean. It consists of many plateaus and hill ranges. Here you can see in this part, you will find many hill ranges and many plateaus. The Aravallis in the north are the oldest fold mountain here. It includes a series of plateaus bordering the plains, Vindhyas and Satpura. This area is Vindhya, and below that and above that are the two rivers. And Satpura ranges in the central part and the hilly regions of western and eastern Ghats. Now next is the coastal plains. Coastal plains means the areas which is near to the sea coast, that is called as the coastal plains. India is blessed with a long coastline extending for approximately 7,500 kilometers. It lies to the western and eastern part of peninsula. Its western and eastern coastlines show remarkable similarities. The western coast borders the Arabian Sea. You can see here the western coast. This is the western coast. Okay, this borders the Arabian Sea. This is the Arabian Sea. It is by and large a rocky coast, this one. Okay. At places, spurs taking off from the western Ghats have extended right up to the coast. Its width is also less. Rivers originating from western Ghats are short and swift, and hence they form estuaries and not deltas. The eastern coast borders the Bay of Bengal. It has formed as a result of depositional work. I'll show you what is estuaries, what is deltas, okay, so that you will understand much better. The eastern coast borders the Bay of Bengal. It has formed as a result of depositional work of rivers. See this one. The eastern coast. This is the eastern coastal areas, and this is Bay of Bengal. Many flowing rivers starting from the western and eastern Ghats meets this coast. Means the rivers which flows from here, as I've shown you before, the drainage system of River Ganga Basin. It flows and meets the Bay of Bengal. Because of the gentle slopes of the land, river flows at lower velocities and deposit the sediments brought with them at the coast. As a result, deltas are found along this coast. Now let's see what is delta. See here. See the definition. You can see here in the picture, these are deltas. Okay. These are deltas, these are estuaries, and these are atoll. Now let's see the definition. Deltas are wetlands that forms as rivers empty their water and sediments into another body of water. For example, the different tributaries which flows and drain their water into another body. Into another body means drain their water in Bay of Bengal. Okay, and the sediments, the minerals which are deposited into the major water body that are called as delta. such as ocean, lake, or another river. Although very uncommon, deltas can also empty into land. A river moves its mouth or end. So deltas are basically wetlands that forms as rivers empty their waters and sediments into another body of water. Now next is estuaries. An estuary is partially enclosed coastal body of brackish water with one or more rivers or streams flowing into it. So it is partially enclosed coastal body. Partially enclosed means half side it is land and half side it is water. Estuaries form a transition zone between river environment and maritime environment known as ecotone. Now next is atoll. An atoll is a ring-shaped coral reef island or series of islets. An atoll surrounds a body of water called lagoon. Sometimes atolls and lagoons protect a central island. Channels between islets connect the lagoon to the open ocean or sea. So hope you have understood these three definitions. Now let's go through the map. It would be better for you if you will open your maps in the textbook, the map which is given in your textbook. The image will be very clear to you all. Please refer your textbook also. See the first question. In which direction does the region with an altitude of more than 600-meter lie in India? So whenever we are referring a map, we should understand the index also. See, this is the index. This is index. This is index. Okay. Go through the shades given in the index and the numbers which are displayed here. And now here you have to see the area. The region with an altitude of more than 6,000 meter. The region with an altitude of more than 6,000 meter. So the region with an altitude of more than 6,000 meters is, let's see here. See the index here, 6,000. 6,000 is shown in orange color. The area with an altitude of 6,000 meters is shown in orange color. So let's see where is orange color. See, you can see here this part. Okay, the northern part, the northern direction. So this is the region with an altitude of 6,000 meter. So the answer is northern direction. Write the answer northern direction. Now let's see the next question. Look for the south flowing river in the peninsular region. In which river basin does it lie? Look for the south flowing river in the peninsular region. In which river basin does it lie? Let's see the map. You have asked the question in the peninsular region. Okay. South flowing river in the peninsular region. So south Proving is where? South Proving is here. Okay, this is the south Proving area, the upper part, sorry, the down part. So this, the map is not very clear here. Please refer your maps in the textbook. You will understand much better. So here, this part, so this part basically is the peninsular region, and the south Proving river means to its south, okay, and it meets in the Bay of Bengal. So the river name is Kaveri River. So the name of the river is Kaveri, is the south Proving river in peninsular region and located in the Bay of Bengal. Now the next question, in which direction is the slope of the region in the north shown in dark color? In which direction is the slope of the region in the north shown in dark green? The dark green, we have to see the dark green area. See, the dark green area is towards, the dark green area is towards the eastern part. So you will write the answer to the east. See, this is the dark green area. Now next question is, make a list of plateaus located in between Aravalli ranges and Chota Nagpur plateau. So you have to make a list of plateaus between Aravalli ranges and Chota Nagpur plateau. The name of the plateaus are Marwa Plateau, Marwar Plateau, Malwa Plateau, Bundelkhand Plateau, and Baghelkhand Plateau. So these are the names of different plateaus which lies between Aravalli ranges and Chota Nagpur plateau. So in this area, here is the Aravalli and here is the Chota Nagpur plateau. So in this area comes this different plateaus. Now next question, name the peak shown in the Eastern Ghats. Name the peak shown in the Eastern Ghats. So the two peaks are Mahendragiri and Malayagiri. The two peaks are Mahendragiri and Malayagiri in the Eastern Ghats. This is the Eastern Ghats. See, this is the Eastern Ghats. And the two peak comes here is Mahendragiri and Malayagiri. Please refer your maps in the textbook. The map is not clear here. The remaining question we will see in the next lecture. Last 2 minutes are left. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. We will clear in the next lecture. Any doubts to any student? Please unmute your mic. Hello.
Tushar, unmute yourself.
Hello. Students, do you have any doubt? See, we have 1 minute left with us. If you have any doubt, you can ask me.
Can you please? Yeah.
I'm not able to hear your voice properly. Your voice is not clear.
Teacher, histories मतलब क्या?
हेलो.
हेलो टीचर.
हाँ, यस बेटा से.
टीचर एस्ट्रीज का एक बार एक्सप्लेन करो.
Estuaries means an estuary is a partially enclosed coastal body. Enclosed, partially enclosed means आधा वो क्लोज रहता है, मतलब आधी साइड अगर आप देखोगे तो आधा कोस्टल पार्ट आता है और आधा क्या है आपका पानी रहता है. ठीक है, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज व्हाट, एस्चुरी.
और टीचर एटॉल.
एटोल एक रिंग शेप कोरल रीफ है, आइलैंड की आइलैंड है, जैसे कि समुद्र है, ठीक है, आजू बाजू समुद्र है और बीच में क्या है, आइलैंड है. ठीक है, वही रिंग शेप को हम लोग क्या बोलते हैं, एटोल बोलते हैं.
ओके टीचर, थैंक यू.
Any more doubts to any students? Or shall I wind up the lecture? Hello.
Student, raising your hand, unmute yourself and ask.
Hello. Any
Hello.
doubts?
हेलो.
Okay.
हेलो मिस.
Hello, ma'am.
हेलो.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, hope none of the students have any doubt now. So we shall sign,
No, they are
wind up the
raising
meeting.
their hand.
Those who are raising their hand,
They are
please
raising their
tell
hand.
what's the doubt.
गुड मॉर्निंग.
Good morning, beta.
व्हाट मीनिंग
What?
ड्रेन. ड्रेन.
Drainage.
हाँ.
सिंपल एक तुमको मैं मतलब समझाती हूँ. ड्रेनेज का मतलब क्या होता है. ड्रेनेज का मतलब होता है कि अपना जो पानी है वो क्या करना, खाली करना, उसको बोलते हैं ड्रेन. समझ में आया. ड्रेन का मतलब क्या है कि अपना जो पानी है वो क्या करना, खाली करके किसी और में फिल करना. फॉर एग्जाम्पल मैं गंगा रिवर हूँ, आई एम अ गंगा रिवर, बराबर. हाँ, आई एम अ गंगा रिवर और मैं क्या कर रही हूँ, अलग अलग जगह से फ्लो होके आ रही हूँ. मेरा जो सोर्स है वो अलग अलग जगह से आ रहा है. ठीक है, मैं अलग अलग जगह से आके मैं कहाँ पे अपना पानी खाली कर रही हूँ, आई एम पोरिंग माई वाटर इन बे ऑफ बंगाल, बराबर. तो उसी को हम लोग क्या कहते हैं, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज व्हाट, ड्रेनेज. समझा अभी. ड्रेनेज का मतलब है, ड्रेनेज मीन्स व्हाट, एम्प्टिंग योर वाटर. अपना जो पानी है, हम अलग अलग सोर्सेज से आ रहे हैं. अलग अलग सोर्सेज क्या हो सकता है पानी के आने का. द डिफरेंट सोर्सेज आर द माउंटेन्स, द हिल्स, द प्लेट्यूज, द प्लेन्स. ये सब क्या है, डिफरेंट डिफरेंट जगह है जहाँ से पानी क्या हो रहे हैं, निकल रहे हैं. और वो पानी निकल के कहाँ जा रहे हैं, डिपोजिट हो रहे हैं. दिस वाटर्स are coming from these different sources and depositing their water in a large water body. A large water body means a ocean or a sea. So they are depositing their water in a sea called Bay of Bengal, and some of the rivers are depositing their water in Arabian Sea. Okay, so this is called as what, drainage. And drainage pattern means what, the way the river flows, the way a river flows, a water flows, that is called as what, drainage pattern. अभी देखो हर एक चीज का फ्लो होने का तरीका एक जैसा नहीं होता ना. अभी हमारा जो फीचर्स है लैंड का वो कैसा है, जमीन का जो फीचर है हमारा कैसा है, एक ही जैसा है क्या, नो, वी डोंट हैव अ सिंगल फीचर्स ऑफ लैंड फॉर्म्स. वी हैव डिफरेंट डिफरेंट फीचर्स. द डिफरेंट डिफरेंट फीचर्स आर वॉल्केनोज. अभी कोई कोई जो जमीन है वो कहाँ पे निकलती है, पानी के अंदर से निकल जाती है. ठीक है, तो उसको हम लोग बोलते हैं आइलैंड. कोई जमीन माउंटेन बन जाती है तो उसको हम लोग बोलते हैं माउंटेन. कोई हिल्स बन जाता है, तो कोई एकदम प्लेन जमीन ही रहती है, नहीं तो कोई प्लेट्यूज बन जाता है, बराबर. तो ये क्या है, डिफरेंट डिफरेंट लैंड फॉर्म्स है. तो अगर सपोज पानी सिंपल जमीन से आ रही है तो उसका बहाव कैसा रहेगा, एकदम स्ट्रेट होगा. लेकिन अगर वो माउंटेन से गिर के आ रही है तो उसका बहाव कैसा होगा, चारों डायरेक्शन में वो गिरेगा पानी. समझ में आ रहा है बेटा. हेलो. हाँ, तो ये जो फ्लो ऑफ वाटर है ना, द पैटर्न ऑफ फ्लोइंग of a river is called as what, drainage pattern. Now it is clear to all. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, any more doubts to any students? If you don't have any doubt, please put your hands down. Hello?
Still two students are raising their hands. Ask your doubts if you are having, otherwise we'll wind up the lecture.
Faizan Khan and Tushar Patil, do you have any doubt? Faiz Khan, if you don't have any doubt, put your hands down, please.
Okay, ma'am, we'll stop over here. Hello, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we'll stop the lecture here.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, we will wind up the lecture here.
Yes, please play the video.
Ma'am, I'm unable to hear you properly.
Please play the video.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am, please play the video.
Shall I play the video again?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Is video visible to all?
No, ma'am, video is not visible.
Hello?
Ma'am, video is not visible.
Video is visible or not?
No, no.
I have shared the video. Now see once again. Is it visible now? Hello?
No, no.
I have shared the screen, ma'am. Why it is not showing?
Yeah. Yeah, screen is visible. Your lecture one slide is visible.
But video is not visible, ma'am.
But video is not visible.
I'm sharing
no.
once again.
Okay, anyways, we'll stop.
Shall I stop or share?
No, no, we'll stop here. It's okay.
Okay, okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, ma'am. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, students. Stay connected for the next lecture. Science as usual with your science textbooks and notebooks.